Hello everybody, welcome back to Deck Tech for Decks. Let's take a look at the Dragon. I'd like to say there's something unique about this deck, but the only thing unique about it is we'll be able to cast 8 drops on turn 3. So while that's pretty cool, this is just a big dumb dragon deck, so enjoy. Now the Dragon currently stands at $83, so since they refuse to reprint this guy and keep reprinting Atrexa, I'm just going to go ahead and proxy him. So tell me what you guys think. I personally think it's beautiful artistry, but let's move on to the deck. Now, casting 8 drops on turn 3 is a pretty big claim, but I'm going to back it up here. We are running Dragon Speaker Shaman, Dragon Lord Servant, Herald's Horn, Urza's Incubator, Morphon the Boundless, Goreclaw, and finally, Semblance Anvil. Alright guys, let's just say on turn 3, we've played 3 lands, we've cast 1 Signet, and we have 1 cost reducer that's reducing it by 2. Additionally, our commander is going to reduce it by another 1. So we'll have the ability to cast a 7-drop dragon on turn 3. Pretty crazy, and it is going to happen in the deck. Alright, let's talk about the dragons we're running in the deck. We have Ancient Copper Dragon. Luckily, I was able to pull this during a draft, so you guys won't get to see more of my artistry. But Ancient Brass Dragon. This guy's up next, and he's going to go ahead and recur all of our dragons that we lose. Ancient Bronze Dragon. I included this guy because I enjoy big dragons, so let's make him bigger. Ancient Gold Dragon. This one, it's just going to create a lot of little dragon tokens, and that's going to be good for card draw if we ever do get our commander onto the board. And this is a tribal deck, so there's ways to abuse a lot of one creature. So, moving on, we have Beledros Witherbloom. The ability to pay life to untap our lands is going to be really useful in this deck because we're casting a lot of big creatures. Balefire Dragon. This guy's just going to go ahead and board wipe anybody who we can just fly over their head. Brain Stealer Dragon. This guy is going to annoy your opponents. Not only are we going to be stealing their good shit, and every time they see us cast one of their good cards, they're just going to start losing their mind. Dragonborn Champion. This guy's just really useful card draw. We're going to create a lot of big dragons, and we're going to be swinging in with them. Dragon Broodmother, as I said earlier, it's really good to have a lot of dragons in this deck, so she's going to create a lot of dragons. Dragon Lord Caligan. This guy's just going to provide haste to all of our dragons. Pretty cool. Dracuset Maw of Flames. This guy's a guilty include because I just want to deal a lot of damage to everybody. Hellkite Courser. This guy's really good because he's going to be able to bring our commander from our command zone onto the battlefield. We're going to use his broken ability. We're really not concerned that he goes to the command zone after that. Next up, we have Klauth, Unrivaled Ancient. This guy's going to pay for himself, right? Because we'll cast him, we'll deal a lot of damage with our dragon creatures, and then we're going to create a lot of mana to cast more dragon creatures. Caligan, the Storm's Fury. This one's just going to buff our whole team whenever we attack. Pretty useful. Laughless Dragon Queen. Not only is she going to make us a massive board state, but she can pump our whole board. Old Gnawbone, again a guy that pays for himself. We're going to cast this dude and immediately create a bunch of treasure tokens. Who doesn't like that? Terror of the Peaks, this guy's going to do a lot of damage over the course of a game. Udvara Hellkite, this guy doesn't give a shit if it's a token or not. Whenever a dragon attacks, go ahead and create another dragon. I'm into that. Vivictus Asmadi the Dire. I like a little chaos in my deck, and this guy provides it. Not only is it going to get rid of our opponent's key pieces, but it's going to let us rip something off the top of our library. Hopefully a big dragon. Next up, we have Zatora the Incinerator. We're going to sacrifice some of those massive dragon tokens to go ahead and deal damage to our opponent and create treasure tokens while we do it. Imrith Desert's Doom. This guy's going to make sure we're never out of cards, right? He's going to draw us some cards, and if we're below 3, he's going to draw us more. Lozen Dragon's Legacy. This one, again, it's going to do a lot of damage over the course of a game. Mirian Sentinel Worm. This guy's just going to double up on all of our dragons, which is going to be pretty broken. Scion of the Dragon. This guy's going to let us tutor up any of our dragons, and then we'll go ahead and chuck them to the graveyard after that, and we'll be able to recur them later, so they're not there forever. Shadrix Silverquill. This guy has a lot of utility. He can either pump our whole board or draw us some cards. Scourge of Valkus. Whenever we're casting a lot of dragons and creating a lot of dragon tokens, this guy's going to do a lot of damage and potentially end out the game for us. Tiamat. Let's tutor up 7 of our most strong dragons and then just put them in our hand. Two-Headed Hellkite. I like this guy because he has haste and you can immediately draw those 2 cards. Riviz of the Claw. This guy's not a dragon, but I'm going to call him an honorary dragon because he's going to let us cast dragons from our graveyard, which is going to be pretty useful. Let's take a look at this card advantage. We have Kindred Discovery. This is a tribal deck, so it's going to draw us a lot of cards. Elemental Bond. Almost all of our creatures are above 3, so this is going to draw us a lot of cards. Again, Guruk's Uprising, same shit, and it gives us Trample. The Great Hinge, whenever we're casting those creature spells, we're just going to be drawing cards. Additionally, this is some ramp. Temur Ascendancy. Not only is this going to grant us haste, but a card advantage. Rishgar's Expertise. This has the potential to draw us a lot of cards, and then we'll get to cast a spell after it. Greater Good. Yes, we have to discard some cards, but whenever we're sacking those giant dragon creature tokens, or even our dragons in a pinch, we're not going to care, because we're going to end up with a net positive of 3 most of the time. Return of the Wild Speaker, just go ahead and draw cards equal to the greatest power. And Soul's Majesty, the same thing. Finally, we have Stinging Study. Our commander is 9 mana, so we're going to pay 9 life to draw 9 cards. I'm into that. Next up, we have the ramp. We are running 3 Visits, Nature's Lore, and Farseek. These cards are going to be really good for color fixing because we can go ahead and search up any of the triomes or any other lands that, have forest or mountain on them. So this is going to be the main way we get access to all of our colors. Next up, we have Fairbrew Elder. This guy has the potential to tap for 5 mana, which is pretty insane. Lastly, we are running 4 of the signets, and they all can produce green mana. This is going to make sure we always have green mana in our starter, because that's one of the key points of making this deck work early game. Next up, we do include a little bit of removal, but not much, because hopefully our dragons are going to get us there, you know what I mean? We've got Dragon Tempest, Beast Within, Assassin's Trophy, and Generous Gift. This is going to be really efficient permanent removal. Next up, we are running Crux of Fate. This is going to be a one-sided board wipe that is going to devastate our opponents. Lastly, we are running a few utility equipments with Sword of Feast and Famine, Sword of Light and Shadows, and then 1 enchantment, Asceticism. This is going to allow us to regenerate any of our creatures. We're investing a lot of resources into these guys, so we really don't want them to die. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the deck tech. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is my Big Dumb Dragon deck. It's been years in the making, and it's finally been put together. So, let me know what you guys think about it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I'll see you in the next one.